Um, Alex Pretti, the latest victim of ICE, the latest victim of Donald Trump's misguided exploits in what we what of course we were told were the worst of the worst. And in Minnesota, they just got the best of the best. And I'm overgeneralizing because I don't have visibility on all of the horrible behavior and the specifics on every victim of this clown show. So I'm not disparaging others, but you know, uh, for a Gestapo force to be popping lots of white folks in addition to people of color and diverse communities is shocking. But when you think about it, look who's running the show, right? Who's the ringleader, and you understand why it's going to shit. The real disappointment, of course, is the failure of any other senior leader in government to stand up and make a principled stand. You know, the one that I bring up, as I did in the feed earlier, is John Thune, right? Who I jokingly referred to as the most handsome coward in United States government or Senate, both. He's devastatingly handsome, but he isn't doing shit. He's doing nothing. The last principled John Thune recently made some noise about the importance of getting healthcare passed. That was either before or after they turned around, ran, and went home for an extended break. The last principled thing of record that I'm aware of is that they voted themselves more money to increase protection for the senators, not for the citizens, obviously, but they needed to protect themselves because their candidate caused an assault that put their lives in danger on J6, which is, you know, the irony and absurdity of that just spins round and round in one's mind, and it's brutal. It is, you know, I've been exchanging notes with people on and off of this wonderful app today, and a lot of people that are, you know, intelligent and committed are feeling dispirited because of the relentless nature of the harm that's being visited upon our fellow citizens. It's brutal, but there is no other way. You know, we have to stay fully engaged, collective action and otherwise. To collective action takes a lot of different puts on a lot of different costumes. It could be when I was thinking of costumes earlier. Of course, because it's me. I was thinking about Grinder Mike Johnson getting ready for Mardi Gras and what costume he might be wearing to get out there amongst the gals and guys and express himself at one of the world's great parties. Um, but you know, we're dealing with a darker subject for the moment. And Alex, as you know, a 37-year-old ICU nurse. And the title of today's essay is Pride in Alex. And I pride in the name of love. It made me think because we are, you know, the Dr. King's birthday was birthday actual was on the 15th of this month. And of course, that song reckons with the killing of Dr. King. Um, and we think about the pride we have in people that do what Alex did in his professional life, and then what he did on his time off, right? So this gentleman was a ICU nurse. We think about those people we think about them differently and more. We have more appreciation for them in post COVID, because so many of our friends and family that are in that line of, doctors, nurses, and other healthcare workers. There are just, so many levels to that endeavor. The from the Harvard doctor, the highly trained emergency room doc, the respiratory specialists, the nurses, the ICU nurses. I mean, the ultimate hero of heroes, right? To the folks that have to clean up after those folks, create and maintain a sterile environment. Those are thankless jobs. And that, on so many levels, that hits us kind of where we are. There's Alex, who did the thing, did the hard thing, the job. He's, a true, first responder, right? And then in his off hours, he was a champion for democracy and for his citizen his neighbors. He was standing up against what ICE was doing to their beautiful city in conditions that were not hospitable, but he was out there doing it in any case. Right? And that ties, that you think about. I'd commend that video to you. It's remarkably that Pride in the Name of Love, you too. Right? That was that was 42, carry the one, 42 years ago, plus or minus. Right? That was 1, 2, 3, 4. That what was I doing in that? That was that was the same year that I cast my one and only presidential election ballot for a Republican. That was Ronnie 2. So, and that was the year that Pride in the Name of Love came out, and it was so powerful. I guess I was, closer to. I've read about Dr. King my entire life. I've marveled at all of the brave John Lewis, Dr. King, and the Emmett Till, and the millions of other tireless champions. My quote last night was Wilma Rudolph. If you need a little extra inspiration, read about Ms. Rudolph and the physical, the not disabilities, the physical challenges she overcame to compete on a level that most of us could only dream of. Couldn't even dream. Well, if it's me, could not even dream of. Right. So, and Jackie Robinson. These are all because uh, of Dr. King and the connection to the song. That really that connection for me. That's what this essay format is to. There are brilliant, many of them younger, but everybody is. Men and women, and whether it's Aaron Parnas or others that can give you the news and do it beautifully. And this brave new media adventure that we're all on together on Substack is that you can find people I mean, freaking Dan Rather's on Substack, right? And many other of the John Dickerson, right, who had that coveted evening news slot co-anchor with another individual whose name escapes me at this very moment. My apologies. But, John Dickerson, the consummate newsman on this platform. But, times are, they're part of this brave new media. But the young kids are doing something a little bit different, and their expectations are different as well. So, what I find selfishly fulfilling is trying to connect events, maybe a current event, with a consequential event in history that provides context for the current world. And and boy, oh boy, don't we need context these days. It's excuse me. It is tough sledding in our world right now. So we have to stick together, figure out new ways that we can align with each other in collective action. And I was watching a news program earlier today, and it was talking about somebody was poo pooing the decision to, well, I know that some of you aren't shopping as much on Amazon anymore, as if Jeff Bezos is standing up heroically to defend his team members, his customers, and the country that gave him so much, right? Uh, Jeff Jeff Bezos is a brilliant man. Freaking Elon is a brilliant man, but he's not a good man. I don't know anything about their personal lives except what you and I read because I don't hang out and wouldn't with Elon. Kind of curious about Jeff. I think maybe if I can wrangle an invitation to his fifth or sixth wedding in some exotic port of call, I will try to do that, and I'll report back and I'll tell you how it goes. Um, you have Bill Gates, brilliant man, but what did he do with all of his money and equal as important his time? Time is a thing that we don't have enough of. And what all Bill Gates did with his money and his time is try to fight illness, availability of water resources, in hunger in Africa, right? Right. But and excuse me, his wife, much smarter, much better looking, and she's out there. Melinda is out there fighting the fight too. Um, Ms. Mackenzie Scott, uh, Jeff Jeff Bezos, his former and better, right? Is out there just whipping off checks for $500 million here and there. And where does her money go? Um, the HBCUs, right? Amazing, amazing that she oftentimes what people and this is just my humble opinion, but the kind of virtue signaling donations, right? People dip in and like, oh yeah, well, I just sent a check for $10 to to feed children in Gaza, right? So I mean, I am awesome. I'm the best. I just sent money to starving kids. And then you move on with your life and you never engage with the issue again. And we're all busy. I don't have endless resource. I can't send checks like they can send checks, but you got to do what you can and try to, certainly if you're a public person, somebody in the public sphere. Hold on 1 second. And you're touting that, hey, I'm great. Hey, I gave millions. Look at me. You better stick with it, right? Because otherwise you're going to look like a complete asshole. Value your contribution. Kids need to eat. People need medicine. Great, but kind of practice what you preach. And we've been speaking a lot about false prophets, including your illustrious Commander Bone Spurs, who I'm going to argue until he proves me wrong. I would imagine that his record of charitable giving is atrocious, that it's embarrassing, that because he doesn't share his taxes, right? The reason that he didn't share his tax information is that up until this year, when the fix was in with the crypto boys and all that, and he was, latex off of the micro and just doing whatever and taking money wherever, and aligning with CZ of Binance and just taking with both hands and hand over fist and then both hands again. Donald Trump's asset profile was a mess over the years, the bankruptcies and he would say, well, he's got to be incredibly wealthy because his name is on everything. Yeah, Bibles, online universities, stakes, golden whatever. No, licensing agreements, right? He gets as much money as he can to from a consumer good or otherwise to put his name on it to try to put more money into his account. Just a disgusting human being, right? Just a horrible man. And one final thing, I just learned a trick that when you leave the sliding glass door open to feature the snow, and it's 14 degrees out, that it can be really cold on the Tootsie. Well, I can't say that because, I'm a Boston guy and I can't complain about the cold. And that was the thing I couldn't show that I had gloves on when I was outside yesterday because that wouldn't be on brand for the Boston guy. What dudes and gals that we affectionately refer to as massholes, Massachusetts. Yeah. Pride, right? We talked about the beauty of pride and love in Dr. King through the song and his sacrifice. And what Bono says is they took your life, but they couldn't take your pride, right? And that's pretty deep for a Sunday going into a Patriots game, especially deep when I don't drink anymore. So that's pretty sad. But think about that. Think about that line. And again, the song, the video was pretty good. It's kind of yeah, it's it's kind of ripped and stripped and very not a lot of bells and whistles if you don't remember it from 40 freaking years ago. Why don't you? It's it's a lot of the dudes on stage, the four members of the band, and city scenes, industrial scenes, bridges and drawbridges, and yeah. So it's uh, but just I would recommend that you go watch the clip. It's whatever. It's I can't fair use doctrine being what it is. I can't play the whole clip on the feed because that's not how fair use doctrine works, right? But it's it's only out there everywhere, including YouTube. And you know, early morning, April 4, shot rings out in a Memphis sky. Free at last. They ended your life. They could not take your pride. So, and phew, think of that in context of Alex, and think about if that was your child out there. Certainly the same way that Martin Luther King's parents would feel. Certainly the way Coretta Scott King felt that day. I can't recall whether she was traveling with Dr. King in Memphis in '68 on that date, but that's just my bad. Um, but think about this: the the pride you would feel as the parent of this young man, ICU nurse. I mean, it's a job. Yeah, of course, it's a job, but you can pick less selfless endeavors than an ICU. It's hard, that's really hard. I got kind of choked up there. That's before the radiation. It really choked. Um, yeah. So contrast the pride, contrast the genuine earned pride of Alex or Dr. King with Donald J. Trump. And the reason, as these people are murdered in the streets, that he's not dialing it back, that he's not reassessing this broken effing policy that's going to cause more harm. Think about the people that are going to cancel or not come or participate less in the World Cup. I'm not diminishing the impact of the today, the Alex, but that's billions and billions of dollars to the United States, to small business owners. And there are people that will boycott. God, I hope they will. I hope large numbers of people. All right, talk about collective action. I'm going to pay. I saved up, just making this up. I live in Ghana. In my entire life savings to date, I'm a young man. I have a young son, and I saved X thousands of dollars that will get me to and from the United States in order to see our national team compete in the World Cup. And I'm doing it with my son because it will be the most important experience in his whole young life, something he'll remember forever, right? I remember nothing that nothing that grand, but I still have pictures of just sitting in, you know, Fenway Park with my daughter. Right? Those are memorable times, special. But you're traveling from Africa to come to the United States. You got to get the visa. You got this and that, and you're again a person with a much healthier complexion than this old dude. And you're walking around on the streets, and you're being looked at by masked Jethros that just got new guns, but no training. I mean, a lot of guys, excuse me, a lot of people know how to shoot guns, but doing it in a high stress environment, as we've seen the fail, right? 2 times very publicly, and I'm sure there are plenty of other ones we haven't yet seen. But it's, it's the pride that he won't apologize. Never fucking excuse me, never apologizes. That's that's the guy that I've known for as long as the U2, since '84. That's probably around the time that I connected with who this dude was, you know? And, and he doesn't have the no self-awareness, no compassion, no empathy, no sympathy, right? He's a he's an empty vessel, hollowed out by greed and daddy issues, right? So there's no there on the inside. So when he sees the suffering, and you've got Stephen Miller cheering him on, saying, "No, we gotta drive harder, gotta go deeper, we gotta fight back, we gotta get him out of the country. We gotta get 1,000,000 out. That's what you said, Mr. President. You you promised on the campaign trail that you were gonna get 1,000,000 brown and black people out of this country. We gotta do it. You can't go back on your word now, sir. They'll be laughing at you." I mean, they're fucking laughing at you every day anyways. So why not choose compassion? Do a reset. Uh, okay, one more. I'm sorry, I was trying to get off, and my left foot is numb. I'm going to just tie this into one other thing: the setup for midterms. Right? What could Trump do? And I'm just going to go through this very quickly because it'll be a longer episode. But if Trump sat down with a smart, compassionate strategist, he doesn't have any there, right? But say he got I don't know, evil Barack Obama. No, that isn't fair to Mr. Obama. Maybe JD has enough evil in him to do this. The tears of Erica Kirk that JD's fourth child is not hers. Right? If he sat down and he said, "Okay, the only thing that matters is the midterms. So what you do is you make some corrections in the ice to have a good World Cup, and then you stage pullbacks on tariffs, more of the ice, and other such things related to the economy. And you, with calls to UAE and KSA and manipulation of your own strategic petroleum reserves, you crater the price of gasoline. And you call Thune and you say, I want a health insurance plan tomorrow. I want it done. You do those things in August, all at the same time. Go on vacation until the midterms are done. Republicans probably have a pretty good chance by manipulating, you know, turning the spigots up and down to, the Fed. By then you'll have a new chairman, because if Powell stays, that's great on the Fed. But as there will be a new chair on May 15th, and they can also do voodoo with the interest rates. So all of that together is like a cotton candy buzz, like a headache. It'd work. and you could puff it up, and then you could go to your MAGA people and say, I told you, best president ever, smartest guy ever, best economy ever. Look at the stock market, all-time highs. It's amazing. I told you, I promised, and I delivered to get through the midterm. And then they turn around and they go back to burning and looting and killing. And the interest rates will support them because he'll have a patsy in the chair position. But then he can go back to his tariffs, and he can be his own bad self. But they will have at least kept a narrower margin than what should be a landslide on the in the House, and they could wipe away the chances that the Dems have to make it interesting in the Senate. And I don't know that he can do that. I don't know that his personality would allow him when he's so all in on tariffs and he's lied about their effectiveness. It's over 95% of that the cost of the tariffs is borne by U.S. citizens. A few bucks to importers and folks like that, but the vast majority of that money is paid by the U.S. consumer. And so basically, he's taking your money into a fund that he's going to use to reward his people, right? Take from the whole, reward the MAGA. And that's what those sequestered tariff funds, sequestered in UAE, funds from the sale of the Venezuelan oil tankers that they captured. It seems now that there's a problem that turning on the spigot to fill up more tankers, because the infrastructure down there is just such a mess, that gig might be up. In which case, what do? They go, forget Venezuela, leave it a mess, withdraw, go to Marcos, Cuba, and do something else until they get bored and move on. And all they do is they don't help anybody. They leave a trail of misery, close it down, and then repeat somewhere else. So, go Patriots, go Pats. That's a positive for the day. However, it turns out they they're the only team to make it to 16 divisional round. I'm going to mess that up. They're really good. Tom Brady was a good quarterback. You might have heard of him. He also is very handsome and tall, but a better man than John Thune, and not a coward. Not a coward like Mike Johnson, like John Thune, like each and every Republican member of Congress. Think about a way in your mind, that dilemma is, it's all Trump's fault. That helps a little bit in the midterms, maybe. But we got to hang the albatross on each and every member of the Republican Party, right? So each and every senator, each and every rep, each and every state rep, each and every elected office that I'm going to forget about. Judges are elected in some places. A freaking county recorder, whoever the heck it is, they got to all go and start over. So, pleasure as always. I'm going to say, I'm going to go and just put on some heavy socks. Maybe close the door. Einstein, that might help. But let's see. It's snowing. Not the first time ever. Enjoy your day, and say a prayer for the fallen in Minneapolis and elsewhere. Not just it's Renee's very violent killing, leaving children behind. this young gentleman. I don't have any idea of his family. It's not my business. Um, but leaves parents, leaves family, leaves friends, leaves community, um, and all people go to war. People enlist in the military. They go to war. People die, and they come home and they're honored by their community and they're buried with dignity. And and that's unfortunately part of life. These killings unnecessary. I was reading some comments. It was my fault on Facebook. People like, well, if they didn't antagonize the police, then maybe it would, fuck that. Come on, grow up, grow up. Pleasure, always. Sunday. See you sometime tomorrow. Thank you, and have a great day.